What is going on, you guys? Matt here, Mr. Matt Darnell, and here in this video I'm going to show you guys the best project settings and render settings for Sony Vegas Pro 13 in 1080p. This is for all your gameplay, screen captures, pretty much any video that you do in 1080p. I'm going to show you guys the best settings you can use. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and load up your Sony Vegas Pro. Once you're in Sony Vegas Pro, go to File, and go to Properties. Under Properties here, you will see your template. Under Template, just go ahead and do HD 1080p. Doesn't matter which one you do. Make sure it is P at the end. HD 1080 24p. Go ahead and select that one. Mine says Custom because I've already customize the template. Go ahead and select this one right there. In width here, you want to type in 920. Height, you want to have 1080. Frame rate, you want to have 29.97 if you're doing it 30 frames per second. If you want to do a 60 frames per second video, go ahead and select 59.94. That will get you the 60 frames a second. I don't recommend 60 frames a second because most consoles only do 30. 60 frames a second if you're doing PC games, recording that good stuff, or recording PC screen capture, or your camcorder supports it. Go ahead and select 60 frames a second. However, if not, I recommend 30. Alrighty guys, and stereoscope 3D mode, go ahead and turn that off. Output rotation, 0 degrees. Pixel aspect ratio, go ahead and select square. Under field order, click none. Of course, none is if you're doing 1080p. I do not recommend you do 1080i. You can ask any person. 1080p, 720p is light years ahead of 1080i. 1080i is terrible. Do not use 1080i unless you're doing things like a slideshow or something very simple where nothing is hardly moving except for a transition here or there. But for fast motion stuff of any motion, really, you want to do 1080p or 720p. Down here under pixel format here, go ahead and select 32-bit floating point. Go ahead and select the full range. Under gamma, go ahead and select 1. That would be linear. View transform, you want to make sure that is set at off. Under full resolution rendering quality, click best. Motion blur type, go ahead and select Gaussian. Deinterlace method, once again this has to do with 1080i. Go ahead and select none. If you're doing 1080i, well then I don't recommend that. Do 1080p or 720p. Deinterlace method is only for 1080i videos. You can check this if you want. I'm not going to check this. I don't check this. I don't recommend you check it. I don't. Under pre-rendered files folder, this I have on my SSD right now. However, I don't recommend you have on your SSD. I recommend you have this on a hard drive because this possibly will read and write a lot, and that will wear down your SSD easily. Unless you have a high performance Crucial, SanDisk, or Samsung, a quality SSD. Now you want to go ahead and select the bottom, go ahead and start all new projects with these settings. Go ahead and click apply. If you want to save this template, go ahead and select save. You type in the name, click save. I've already done that. Click apply. Under audio here, we can just leave audio alone. Under ruler, we can leave that alone. Summary, you can change this each time. An audio CD, don't worry about that unless you're actually using an audio CD. Go ahead and select OK here. And you want to go ahead and edit your video. Go ahead and add in your intros and edit your audios and all that good stuff. Edit your channels. And when you're ready to render out your video, go ahead and select File. Click Render As. Under Render As here, you want to go to Main Concept AVC/AAC. Go ahead and go down here, and you want to choose Internet HD 1080p. Go ahead and select Customize Template here. Under Frame Size, go ahead and select HD 1080. It will be 1920 by 1080. Uncheck that. Under Profile, just select Main. Frame rate, once again, you want to have 29.97. You will see the 59.94 if you are on doing 60 frames a second. In this case, we're only doing 30 frames a second, so we'll select 29.97. Under Field Order, select None. Once again, this is if you're doing 1080i video. I don't recommend 1080i, so go ahead and select None. Pixel Aspect Ratio, go ahead and select 1. Number of reference frames, I select 2. Under your bitrate, go ahead and select Constant Bitrate. You want to have that at 14 million. That will give you 14 megabits a second on your bitrate. That's what most HD PVRs, PC and console max out at, is 14 megabits a second bitrate. However, if you're doing PCIe encoding or capturing, all that good stuff, you may be able to go higher, but it just depends on your video files and your camera, depending on what you're recording with. Down here, number of slices, keep that to minimal. Encode mode, render using CUDA. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, go ahead and select render using CUDA if available. If you have an AMD graphics card like the R9 or the 7970 or an R9 300 series or an R9 200 series, go ahead and select render using OpenCL if available. And if you have a 8-core processor or a 6-core processor like the FX 8350, the Intel 5820Ks, the 4930s, 5960Xs, all that good stuff, go ahead and select render using CPU only. Depends on what graphics card you have and what CPU you have. You can get faster renders if you use a graphics card. It's what I use. Under audio here, just leave that the same unless you want to up your audio quality. Really just depends on your mic. System, you can check your GPU. In this case, I have CUDA, so I can switch this to NVIDIA's CUDA. Under project here, we can just leave that there. Once you're done there, go ahead and click OK, and you type in the title and it's going to render out your video. Those are the best render settings and the project settings for Sony Vegas Pro 13 for those of you doing 1080p video at 30 frames a second or 60 frames a second. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I will have videos up soon showing you guys how you can do 2K and 4K, along with even 8K video in Sony Vegas Pro if you have the computer that's beefy enough to handle it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Till next time, guys, I will see you later.